Oh man, well it's good to see you. Hey everybody that just bounced on. Wow, I see
Yeah,
some new friends. Steve, it's good to see you. Allie,
yeah,
in
thanks,
real
man.
life, we're chatting. That's crazy. Look at us. And do you go by Alex or Alexandra? Alex, you're muted. I saw your lips move, but there you go. Welcome, Alex. It's nice to see you. Cool, Steve. I'm loving your new record. I think you just froze, but
Oh,
your new EP is so good. It's been getting some great play in our house.
oh, thanks, man. I'm
Yeah.
glad. Yeah, it's good to get it out there. Weird time to release something, but it's also the time when people are going support artists, buy their music, and I've sold like more digital music in the week just from friends and family. Yeah, it's wild. So
Totally. And that's
it's
like, I'm so stoked to, this is a really cool crew we have here today. And I'm really stoked to see everybody. Steve, I know you just have a little bit of time. So briefly, I'll just give a quick introduction and we will dive in to some great conversation. It's been a crazy, crazy couple weeks. Wow. Uh, Man, what else can I say? I'm super grateful that I was able to, for the last, this is my fourth week of moving all my students online. I'm a music teacher, in case you didn't know that. But I'm also the co-founder of Fons. And it's been going awesome. I've been loving it. I'm totally packed with lessons, and I'm so grateful for that because it's just nice. 'Cause I know a lot of people are having a difficult time with losing work and freelance gigs. So I'm super stoked to be working a lot and really excited about connecting with other people that are doing it and trying to do it. And today I wanted to. Usually with Mastermind we talk like big business stuff and plans and strategy, and I want to get into that. But I also wanted to just have like a big kind of like a just kind of come together, see, and take a minute to just hopefully have a small enough group that everyone can just check in briefly to start things off. Take like maybe a minute to just tell a little bit about how you're doing, how things are going where you are. And then I want to plow right into this idea of reality, which is we need to be very agile, right? And to know that although things might be cool now, they might not be tomorrow, or maybe things aren't
mhm.
cool right now, but they could be cool tomorrow. We have no idea what's going to happen next. So I wanted to share some encouragement with that, and then wrap it up with this idea of all of us really, myself included, really pondering kind of what our next steps are, right? Like right now, everything's cool. Business is good, students are going great, everybody's happy. Like, how am I going to use the extra energy I have to help other people get up and running, or to buy art for my friends that don't have it, or have someone come fix my house? Like, how can I be impactful in my community? So I think it'll be a really fun thing to talk about. I know Alex is new to our crew, and I'll just kind of, before we introduce ourselves, I don't know a whole lot about you, Alex, but I know you're just coming into the scene, and you were interested in marketing via Facebook, right? And
Yeah, that's one of the things that I'm going to try.
yes, and so this is a really amazing crew that happens to be here today. Just to your right in the gallery view is Allie Tyler, who's become a virtual friend, an excellent source of energy, and she really crushes it digital marketing too. So she might be a really cool person to connect with. Steve Treseler is here, who is friend, Seattle musician, just put out a really great record. Everybody should be listening to it. Some good
Thanks, man.
jazz, and a frequent contributor here. Up above him is Steve Hughes, who's kind of the one of the foremost experts in online teaching. He's been doing it forever since he moved and took his studio with him and became really good with the gear and the tech, and he helps a ton of people. We've got Lenny from Sarasota, Florida, who's opening up a music school and just getting started right in the time of coronavirus, but he's got some really cool stuff happening. And Nathaniel's here from our customer success team, who's just all around awesome dude. So why don't we take just about a minute each to just say hello, introduce yourself, tell us what's going on, and give us kind of like on a scale of 1 to 10 how you're doing mentally, emotionally. Anybody want to hop in and go first? Allie, you're right in the middle of my screen. You just want to go.
Okay, I know your screen's different than mine. Everyone's in different places, but Hi, everyone. It's so good to be here. I'm so excited to be here. This is my first time finally doing a mastermind. Just felt like the right one. I live in Colorado. I'm a voice teacher and I do some branding and marketing. And our state is basically locking down now. So everything's getting pretty serious around here. And how I'm feeling now, I'll be totally honest. I feel really good. I feel inspired. And I'll give you a very quick backstory as to why I feel this way. I kind of was in my own sort of little quarantine for 14 weeks prior to coronavirus because I severely injured my back. I wasn't able to walk, like literally walk for 7 weeks. So I was on the couch and I had to stop teaching. I had to stop working. I couldn't drive. I couldn't do anything. This was all around the holidays. And I finally started getting better, was able to move around and walk and teach again right when the coronavirus hit.
Oh.
So my whole life was like, it's been really strange because it's a beautiful time to really reflect on what it means to change your whole life and to be quiet and to slow down and to reevaluate everything. So I kind of got a head start with that on accident, divine timing of that. So now what's cool is that during that period of time, since I wasn't teaching and I wasn't working and I still needed to do something, I actually ended up writing a digital course on how to sing. And I hit publish the day that everything went haywire in the US. So I am working on creating a monthly membership around that and doing virtual lessons and kind of like having to redo my whole plan of what I thought I was going to do this year, as we all are. And honestly, I'm just excited about it. I feel good. I feel inspired. I feel like this is an incredible time of life. And what an amazing opportunity for all of us to really be leaders, you know? And it's just, I don't know, every day I feel different. And of course, we're all going through intense, you know, emotional stuff. But yeah, I feel good. That's how I'm feeling today, right
Allie,
now.
that is all so awesome. And it was so good. I saw you dancing on Instagram yesterday.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that your back had taken you down that far for that long. It's good to see you moving in your realm again.
Yes.
And I am really happy to hear things are going well. I need to check out your course.
Yeah.
And okay, here I am as a parent with a 13-and-a-half-year-old daughter who's stuck in this house. Edie needs some voice lessons from Allie. So I want to connect you guys because, like, as parents, I can tell you, man, we are like all the people that work with our kids. We are so grateful for any of them that are still able to provide a structure, right? Son's Capoeira coach is doing stuff online. I am so okay paying for their subscriptions or their memberships or whatever to give my kids something to do and a place to connect. And like, yes, my daughter could use some Allie Tyler. How's your vibe with 13-year-olds? She's an awesome.
Oh, I love him. I love him.
I'm really excited. You know, Edie, I've strategically not given her vocal lessons, but she's been singing and writing her whole life. And so her voice is that perfect, weird, unique thing that it's time for some lessons. So maybe we can connect on that, Allie. It's so good to have you here. That's awesome.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm really, and it's good timing too. I feel like right now, especially if you are a musician, talk about the best time to bring this to people. Like, this is the most uplifting thing in the world. I even saw someone post on Facebook, I wish I were a musician right now. And it just made me rethink about everything. So if you are a musician watching this and you teach, like, this is such a great time to inspire and give structure in household. And yeah, it's awesome.
That is awesome. Thank you for sharing. Hey, Steve, Steve Hughes, you got to run soon. I know. Do you want to say what's up real quick?
Hey, yeah. So, like what Allie was talking about, we're on the ground floor here. We are in the middle of a huge shift. And I just did some podcasts recently, and as I'm talking about it and I'm listening to it, and like I look at my notes, I still kind of feel like this like surge in our industry, and we need to be on top of it. So like that's kind of what I'm thinking about when, you know, because there's so much positivity here in terms of in terms of growth and in being able to, you know, stretch our thinking. I say that a lot. So a lot of teachers are stressed out and worried and anxious, and of course that is, you know, we need to find a way to put aside those fears and turn it into, you know, positive traction. So that's what I'm trying to do. And personally, myself, I feel good. I feel good. I feel I haven't been this energized in a long time. It's weird. I don't know what to say about it. I mean, part of it is because this is like right in my wheelhouse. And so like I just feel good, like giving like these good vibes to people. And it just like I've never felt so confident in being able to share information. So I think that's part of it. I think, and so when we can share that information with other people and keep sharing it and keep learning from each other, that's like my number one motto for my new group is the learning and sharing. Then we can create this positive culture, and then we can all be kind of in this together. And then, you know, this is a huge shift. I mean, 3-4 months from now, you're going to be, people are going to be searching Google for online lessons, and it's not going to be just all apps. It's not going to be just all YouTube tutorials. It's going to be actually live instruction. And so I think that's a big thing too. Not that you have to move everything that way, but I think that you can understand that, hey, I can teach globally, and I can be really effective with it. And it's just in terms of a business mindset, it just adds so much more. It just adds kind of another layer and another potential there for business. And I don't know, I'm excited about it. We're so many people, tens of thousands of people right now, and trying to work through issues right now. And but once you kind of get beyond that, I think like once you kind of get into this like clearing, I think it's important to try to grab a hold of it and not really take advantage of it. I mean, from a personal standpoint and business, yeah, you want to do that too. But I think that we can really spread the message and get music to the people. Let's deliver music to the people that are there in their homes and they need this. So yeah, I mean that's kind of my take on it.
So Steve, I thank you for saying that, and I just have to share. I've been able to feel your energy shift as you've gotten traction with this group, and I can sense that you're feeling that feeling of what it feels like to help people authentically. And at the end of the day, you're like, oh man, fuck, I just helped a lot of people out. Like, and that feels really good. Like when you've helped somebody either with employment or getting them groceries, whatever, those are like, that's what drives us as human beings. And it's what makes us actually happy. Right. And I think you said it really well that like, as you started to delve into that, like, yes, this is good for business, right? It's great for business, but that really ultimately doesn't give you that energy that's going to make your business do well. The thing that makes your business do well is being like, oh, what I'm doing feels really good. And people pick up on that. And, we're all watching the internet, and we're all seeing, it's pretty quick to tell the difference between a profiteer and an authentic person that's out there with the intention of making the world better. And I think you found that kind of sweet spot for yourself where you're like, dude, I'm just helping a bunch of people. And wow, probably pretty easy to go to bed at night. And I'm feeling energized, even though there's a lot of really bad stuff happening. Right. But it's cool to hear that you're feeling that way. So keep it up. Please share your links so we can make sure to share it in the playback too for your group and your stuff you're working on, because I think it's awesome.
Do you want me to share it in the comments or the text chat or the
anything you guys share here, I'll put together and I'll put back together when I put this out on YouTube. So I'll have it in the link. So I'll make a little amalgamation of that. So thank you, Steve. Alex, I don't hardly know you, except I've heard great things about you through our team. Tell us what's happening. How are you doing? Let me unmute you really quick. There you go.
I'm doing well. I transferred all my students online last week, so that's been a learning curve in itself. But it's been going well overall, and I was in the process of like building up my clientele and doing it through in-person in Boston area. And now that's shifted to online, and I was pretty new to everything. So I'm still building my own website and still doing Facebook and all of that. So that's kind of where I'm at. And I'm new to the whole marketing because I've been doing it mostly through another organization. But I'm sort of taking this as an opportunity to grow and branch out.
Are you a piano teacher? Is that your main thing that you do? Is that okay? And what ages do you work with the most?
I work with ages 3 years old all the way up to, I've started working with adults last month. So my oldest teacher is in his 50s, and then I have some 3-year-olds. So yeah, and I really enjoy working with both, but I do enjoy the young beginners. So
did you feel good? Was your transition to go online? Were your clients pretty cool? Was it no big deal? Did you feel
they were pretty cool about it? Yeah, they've been good sports. Like the parents setting up equipment and figuring it out themselves. It's been neat watching the kids kind of take charge of it a little bit too. And how quickly they've adapted. Like, it's just amazing. My 8-year-old was like, oh, let me show you the music, and
it's
switching from perspective to perspective. And so
cool.
How are the 3-year-olds doing with online lessons?
Well, I've only had one so far. So but that's the area where I'm finding the most spark for creativity, of like doing some maybe like pre-recorded stuff. It's also been like one of the bigger hurdles. Like, I need to get a different filming structure so that it's like above more, because I'm finding that like especially with my 3 to 8-year-olds, I would say, who are still really learning the structure of the keyboard, that over eagle eye view of the keyboard. I don't know if other folks are finding that. So, oh, are you still there?
Oh,
yeah.
Yep.
Here.
Yeah, so I did buy a tripod, but I'm gonna have to buy an even longer. I think there's some that like hook on and then kind of come overhead. I don't know if anyone else has found what they find useful, but
Well, Alex, we can send you over some stuff. Both of the Steves here are probably the 2 best humans at doing this in the universe.
Oh,
so,
okay.
We'll connect you with that link that Steve just posted.
With the products. Okay.
It's just more about how to set it up. What works.
Okay. Sorry, my phone's about to die.
Oh, that's okay. Hey, Steve Treseler, you want to jump in for it and just kind of give us since you were just there anyway. How you doing, man?
Hey, yeah, thanks, Eric. Yeah, things are going okay. Yeah, I'm glad I hopped on with all of you. Just getting some energy from people that are thinking bigger and looking for opportunities. Once things kind of sort of settle into whatever this is. But yeah, I'm a saxophone player and teacher, and I do a range of things. I perform with my own groups and various jazz projects in Seattle. I've been running a private studio, I don't know, since 2003, and I do a lot of group improvisation workshops in schools and jazz workshops and that kind of thing. So all my gigs, all my in-person workshops are all canceled, but I was able to move, all of my students except for one online. So I'm super grateful for getting that going, and leading into right when the Corona stuff was starting to, as we were seeing as a problem, I actually got sick. I just had a cold, no fever or anything, and an ear infection. So I was kind of out of commission and just moving everything online earlier. And then at which point I started, sharing what I figured out by moving it online. I've been helping get some other teachers online, and being part of Steve's Facebook group, which is amazing. He's sharing all of his expertise. So that's been cool. Yeah, as you've been saying, some sort of sense of purpose, being able to help other people in their industry do this.
Steve,
but
let me interrupt you. Who's your PR person? Why is it that every time there's an article in some kind of national publication, whether it be like the New York Times, Fast Company, like, dude, what's the deal?
No, I got that. So that was how that. How did that happen? Well, I don't have a PR person for the thing for my last record. That was all the record label had this badass publicist. This latest one, I had just a friend of mine who's a freelance writer, and she does some stuff for the Seattle Times. And she's like, hey, what are, my heart's going out for all my musician friends who are out of work. What are some people doing? And she was covering my friend Marina Albero. She's doing the quarantine series, looking at how people are pivoting and what people are doing to make their businesses work online. So live streaming concerts, and I just chimed in on her Facebook thread, and I was like, hey, I was able to move my lessons online. Here's what I'm doing, and she, interviewed me quickly and sent so it was just kind of on her list. It was a piece for Crosscut that was out there, and then it was the dude from Fast Company read that and said, hey, I'm writing something on artists using Zoom. So it just ended up being, like we talked about, just through conversations with people. Yeah, that's kind of weird because I'm pretty new at, I'm new at teaching entirely online. So it was, it's.
Well, that Medium article you wrote was awesome.
Oh,
and
thank you.
And if you could post those, that'd be really great.
Sure.
I'm sure everybody would like to see it.
Yeah, but that's all. Yeah, thanks, man. But yeah, so getting set over, I'm grateful I'm able to move all that stuff. But kind of being a little bit sick going into this, I'm still like feeling like I got to figure out how to get some. I don't know, feeling kind of it's like, low on energy a lot. It's like, okay, I got to figure out how to get in the new routine. Just kind of realizing how much energy I get from even, okay, got to, get my kid ready for school. I'm doing some, go teach at this place. Just kind of like, okay, it's another lazy morning. And I'm like, okay, we need to, my kids got our bikes out yesterday. I'm like, I need to get some more energy going. But yeah, it's wild. My wife's a nurse and she works in a dermatology clinic, but now, the shit's getting real, when they're like, okay, she's going to be trained to possibly do the drive-through nasal swabs, but they don't have enough masks for it, and they're trying to convert some of these operating rooms, like which one of these can be ICUs and how can we get ventilator, it's like, so yeah, there's all that. It's yeah, but again, I mean, the way we're going to get through this too is those, we're thinking about how can we serve more people, thinking bigger about and I need, those kind of projects too. I mean, a lot of us are in defensive mode, like, okay, how can we pay our bills? How, people getting sick and all of that, but it's also awesome to pivot to some of those bigger sense of purpose, those things that we're talking about.
Well, you're doing awesome,
wild.
Steve.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, it's a weird time.
We're all hanging in there. And I appreciate all the stuff that you're doing, and gosh, man. Yeah. And you brought up a great point that we need to talk about today, is that we also have to say, wow, what if shit gets really real? Like at what point, and that's, what I want to kind of transition into. I want to really check in quickly with everybody else, but everything right now feels really good. And maybe it's, we don't want to be attached to whatever this moment is, because things could change really quickly. Right?
Oh, yeah, could be. Yeah, there's.
And for what we do, we need to have a plan. People need it, but fortunately, I think by the time the majority of our clients can't work with us, right, it'll just be a whole other thing we can't imagine yet if it comes to that, right? Because most of us have clients that are pretty well insulated to this thing, right? And, so all we can do every day is kind of come at it with like an abundance of openness and compassion, because people are going to lose their jobs. People are going to get laid off, right? Some people might not be able to continue on with us, and fortunately I haven't run into that yet. Hopefully you haven't either, but we have to be kind of prepared for it to be super cool. One of the things I've been doing since I started going online is like, I am so cool about my cancellation policy. Like,
oh yeah,
super wealthy family. Yesterday kind of didn't show up for their lesson on time. I text them, she's like, oh, I totally forgot. I'm so sorry, Branner. And normally I'm like, well, that's okay. Fons is going to bill you anyway in the next 25 minutes, so you might as well jump on. And I'm just like, oh, it's cool. Let's try another day. No big deal,
Yeah, totally.
Because people are out of sorts. Hey, Lenny, tell us really quick about how you're feeling, man. You're in Florida. They don't do social distancing down there, do they?
Well, let's just say people are finding ways around it. Put it that way.
Okay.
But I don't see crowds of people huddled together. But you could go to any park and just see cars lined up. I think people are keeping their distance, but people aren't staying at home. That's for sure. But we are. And
Lenny just got a great deal to promote his work through a promotion of his lessons through the National Disc Golf Association. Is that correct? It lists like 100,000 people. He's doing a promo with them. So dying to hear how that pans out for you. Are your spirits holding up pretty well?
Yeah, I feel great. I'm wearing these black circles with a little bit of pride. On the inside, I feel exactly what Allie said. It's just like a super exciting time. It's it's energizing, it's challenging. All I was really into was kind of my Facebook strategy as far as branding and creating content. So I didn't have to transition a bunch of existing students, so it was kind of an easy transition for me. And it just got really exciting when I realized that I'm not limited to the people in my city. So the National Amateur Disc Golf Tour, they do 160 events annually, I think in over 75 cities. So it's one of the biggest grassroots organizations in the United States. And now the PDGA, the actual Pro Tour, is picking up the partnership, and they have 100,000 members that they want to share my online lessons too. So just really took a big swing, and it worked out. And so I'm feeling really good about my Facebook page, and I wrote my story into a Facebook post and have been kind of boosting it and trying to share it as an ad, and it's just performing great. It's not only kind of reaching out and touching a lot of people, but it's getting a lot of engagement, a lot of page likes. So, my Facebook page is growing and getting a lot stronger too, which is really cool when it's through your own personal story and you're kind of sharing your journey and your challenges in life with people. For me, it's, for those of you who don't know me, it's mostly getting my guitar taken away from me when I joined band class and having to play trumpet. And then later in life, playing but not having a teacher, and struggling and quitting, and so that's kind of my story and my passion to connect with those people. So I think this is a great opportunity. And I just real quickly before Eric, you get back into what we were talking about, this group, I can't even imagine my life without this group. I mean, just from getting over the fact that I'm not classically trained, and that not carrying around that insecurity and not holding back. The people in this group really helped me get over that, helped me put forward an authentic version of what I'm doing and why I'm doing it and who I'm doing it for. Josh in our group, Josh Gillis, has kind of just reached out and been my digital marketing angel, and he's never asked me for anything. Mike, who just joined in New York, it just inspires me to no end, and to have a leader like Eric, a big brother to me, and Steve Hughes, as we all know, has given us all an avenue that we can transition. Instead of us all individually pulling our hair out, we have this avenue that we can all pull together. And I've never been in this community before. So to see what music teachers do when things get hard has really made me happy that I'm a part of it.
Lenny.
So, yeah.
Dude,
so thank you for allowing me to be a part of this group. And from day one, it's made all the difference for me.
Well, we're glad to have you here, man. I appreciate you saying that. That's awesome. Hang in there. Keep us posted on how your promotion's going. Hey, Mike, how are you doing, man? We're just getting ready to get rolling, but really quickly, tell us how you're doing out there in New York.
What's up?
Okay?
What's up, guys? Hey, Eric. Hey, Lenny. Hey, Steve. Hey, Nathaniel. Who else is in the house?
Allie. She's a new guest.
Hi,
Old friend.
Where is Allie? What did you say about Allie?
She's here.
I'm here. Hi.
Oh, she's here? Oh, cool. What's up, Allie? Hey. So,
Yeah.
I'm well, guys. Vibrationally, I'm not frequencing at the way I would want to right now. For those of you who know what kind of jargon I'm talking about.
Are you not humming? No.
I mean, I just spoke to my parents, and my dad is he's in his 70s, and he has pre-existing conditions, but thankfully he's well. But I'm from Cyprus, so my parents live there, and I just found out that from them that Cyprus has a shutdown, so now they need a slip to get out of the house, to go even for shopping. They need to have a slip where they put in what they need to, what the reason they're going out, and then there's police that will stop them and ask for this slip. So thankfully my dad as well, he's the one I'm concerned about most, but I am concerned that if he did get the corona, but he's well. And just so for those of you who don't know, I'm in Manhattan. I live there. And I don't know, guys. Honestly, I've kind of, be honest with you, the whole Corona thing, the whole COVID thing, I didn't take it that seriously. Honestly, I was being selfish and just thinking, I'll be fine. I've been through other difficulties in life. This COVID can kiss my ass. Basically,
Right.
is how I was thinking about it. But seeing how many people, in New York and elsewhere have died, and people getting affected from it and getting sick from it, not just old people, and seeing how the economy has basically gone like this, I'm kind of feeling a little bit like a Debbie Downer right now, guys. So I'm sorry for that. And most of you know that I'm like far from that, yeah, and even though I work with, mainly wealthy families in Manhattan, adults and their kids, yeah, I've had a number of my clients stop temporarily, and because of fear, right? Because they're afraid of what's happening. I don't think any of my clients have actually lost their job, but everyone's afraid about, and sort of, but I wish I had anticipated this whole thing a little more. I wish I had like the wit or the experience to kind of anticipate it, but
What would you have done differently?
I would have jumped online earlier, and I would have been spending less money while I could have.
Yeah,
but thankfully, I didn't. I'm not necessarily caught with my pants down. Then again, I'm not wealthy either, so that I can just sit back and take it easy. Now,
Mike, I'm glad to hear you say that you're kind of feeling bummed. 'Cause I've known you a long time, and I've never seen you anything but cheerful smiles. So man, I get it. Like, it's intense stuff going on, and there's nothing you could have done to be like jump online earlier, or like, worry about saving for something like this. Like, the whole country is not prepared for this, right? And we're all in it. And like, when this first thing in Seattle, it hit us first, right? I'm in my 4th week of going online.
I know.
And I went online overnight because the person who owns the place where my other studio, she was sick. So I went online overnight, told everybody I'm going online. So no one had a chance to say no. Everybody switched over. And it was really hard, right? And then we kind of got slammed into it. But now that we're in it, what we have to do is just kind of be like, okay, what can we foresee that might be coming next? And like, what I'd like to encourage my like Allison, my wife, and I were talking, and she's like, you're so lucky. Like, if half your students quit, you still have half your students. Like, people that are getting laid off, like, I'm not going to lose half my students. It's going to be really bad for me to lose half my students. And for you too. I mean, that's by that time that point comes, most of the country is going to be unable to pay their mortgages, unable to pay their bills. 45% of the people in the country couldn't afford to put new tires on their car if they had an emergency, right? That's a statistic, that most people couldn't afford a $400 emergency expense. So, we're all in it together. I mean, you've got so much great energy to spend, and I'm sure you're going to be like this, and you're in the epicenter now. I talked to a personal trainer in Manhattan this morning, and she said it's just weird as crazy spot, So
yeah. So, but let me throw a little bit of sun in all of this. I guess what I'm more shocked about was the whole thing in Cyprus and the shutdown. That kind of caught me off guard, because I was just speaking to my parents before this call. That's why I was late. But I will say this: I guess what the great things are that, I'm really a believer that we all have this. We all can get tough when the going gets tough. Like, we all have it in us to survive to really survive when we need to. And now that I've jumped online as well, right? So I'm teaching all my students now. I'm teaching online, and I'm getting used to it. I'm enjoying it, I will say. And I'm actually thinking, why wasn't I doing this before? This is so much more convenient, But I've had a lot of time to actually grow to spend more time on marketing. So I've grown my Facebook's page likes by like 100 in like 2 or 3 days by just inviting people and sending them personalized notes and seeing how they're doing. And I've had a stack of business cards that I accumulated from networking events, and now I'm reaching out to people again, always with like, hey, how are you doing? Hope you're well, all that stuff. So I am really aggressive in growing my reach and my presence while I have the time to do so. So that's good.
Yeah, man. You got
this. And one last thing, guys, and I'll let somebody else jump on. I just joined today. I just became a member of Business Networking International, BNI. There's chapters all over the world, and so now I'm in a group of 40, I'd say around 40 members, all different attorneys, this and that, real estate. So I'm the only music instructor. My friend Evan is the chess instructor, so there are other instructors.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm really excited to learn from much older, much more seasoned professionals in different industries and see the strategy and tactics and mindset that they have, how I can use it to what I do.
Gosh, you know what? I think they have more to learn from you than you do from them, Mike. I hope some of them become your customers, but
stop it.
No, man, I'm telling you, this isn't the time for like those crazy like Zig Ziglar sales games, right? Because man, people's hearts are too wide open for that, right? And it's like that's a different moment, but like that kind of, that experience you're seeing is really helpful. But their survival mode is different than our survival mode. Like where our survival mode is like, how many people can we reach out to and better them and help them? Where theirs is like, how do I keep my second house in the Catskills going, right? Or, how do we?
You're right. Yeah.
Leadership with heart is definitely something I think is really important. And it's like so cool about all the stuff we're seeing for these ideas. So let's jump that concept a little bit. It sounds like, I wanted to lead off because I know everybody's talking about maybe trying to get some new students. Alex was talking about growing. Really right now, it's a great time to focus on, because I'm seeing a ton of ads in my feeds. And if you guys don't use the Facebook ads library as a resource, it's really helpful. You can look up every ad that's running on Facebook. You can search to see what different industries are doing and what they're running between Facebook and Instagram. And I'm getting hit with so many ads for online lessons right now. I mean, just probably 20, 30 a day. All these schools are doing, targeting people that are of parenting age, pushing out, we have online schools, right? Now that your kid's out of school, I mean, that's going to be inundated really fast, right? So if we're looking to grow, we have to really, and I'd love to, if anybody has something they'd like to share about it. For me, I put a call out to everyone I knew when things got weird really quickly. And then had enough of a padding that I couldn't accommodate everybody. So I had to, put some people on a waiting list. But was interested, because Alex is looking at doing some Facebook advertising. And I'm wondering if anyone thinks that would really be, I know Allie Tyler is really hot on Thumbtack. And she's one of the only people I know that can really convert Thumbtack. So whatever you do with that maybe that's a good idea as a note. But if anybody has something they'd want to share on that, as far as physically bringing in new clients, I'd love to hear it. Allie, do you want to say something? You just unmute? Yeah.
I have like a thought, not Thumbtack related, but just something that I've been thinking about in terms of showing up and how we're showing up here, and obviously virtually, social media, Facebook, everything. I very intentionally lately have not been really, actually, it sounds kind of weird. I have not been strategizing my business, and there's reasons for that. My husband and I made really good investments. He does real estate, and so we happen to be okay right now because we were thinking in our future so much, and I'm very grateful for that. So I don't feel this kind of like, oh my God, I got to keep my students, because I haven't been teaching for so long. So my perspective might be a little different, but I just wanted to share in case it does help. Something that I have noticed personally is that this time right now is such an amazing time for us to actually just be musicians and to share people our craft and show up in a way, kind of like we've all been talking about this whole conversation. How can I help more? How can I serve more? How can I be a part of my community more? I have found that, I've done zero marketing, zero Facebook ads, zero posting anything. And I'm getting students left and right who are like, oh, I watched you sing, or, oh my God, I love your energy, or you were on that, whatever. And I think that that's something that we can all really remember, is that our energy, like as humans, and showing up online and playing the saxophone or doing a live stream concert, or being like, hey, here's a little guitar like chord progression that I made up. What are you going to riff over it? Or just something that is just being more authentic to us, rather than I got to get students, I got to put Facebook ads out, I got to get students online. I have found that kind of marketing, that kind of like authentic marketing, I always say that marketing is just being you. Like when you go on stage, you're marketing, right? When you're performing, you're marketing. When you get on an Instagram story, you're marketing. So I feel like in my personal experience, just these last few months of doing zero marketing and actually trying not to teach as much because of my personal circumstance, has been so much more of an influx of people being more attracted to that energy. I think people feel that, they can feel whether you're being slimy and wanting to like, oh my God, fill up my studio because I am desperate for money right now, versus, oh my gosh, music is so important, or whatever you teach or coach. It's so important. Let me show you in my day-to-day life how it's impacting me and how I can help you with it. To me, that has been like the best type of marketing. So I don't know, whatever it's worth, that I just felt like I wanted to share that.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. And and I see that in all the stuff you do, Allie. Like it's so cool.
Thank you.
I've been recommitting to putting up YouTube videos of lessons for people, and I've kind of got this concept of like people are singing in their neighborhoods. I put up one yesterday, just a simple lesson, and I got 3 lesson requests from that. One person said, I'm up at our cabin, I brought my guitar, can I book some slots with you? And I was like, no. Another person was like, do you teach ukulele? And I was like, no, but Johnny Akamu does. He's like the nicest guy ever. And so you're right. It's like that's really great thinking, and doesn't cost money. And just like you can sleep with yourself at night and be like, wow, that was cool.
Yeah, it feels more authentic too. And it doesn't come from a place of needing something or wanting something, right? And that energy is different when you're giving it online. People can really feel the difference. And it just feels so much better to give from that place, I feel like.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Absolutely. Yeah, I wanted to jump in. I mean, a lot of us are going to be, who might be scrambling for some more work, looking for more students, or have to do DoorDash, or, who knows? Like, there's times where we might be in defensive mode and have to figure it out. But as we can look bigger, I've been thinking a lot about how can we use, a lot of the time, if I'm teaching a saxophone lesson, usually Zoom and the microphone, it's going to be a barrier to what it's like to be in the room and play together. At certain moments when it's going well, the technology feels neutral, but that's pretty rare. So it's kind of a barrier. It's like some people are looking at it, what can I do to cover my own butt for these few months until we can go back to normal? But we can also look at how we can use this to build an asset that's going to outlast this, the pandemic. So I'm thinking about, how can the technology make this stuff better? So like in my own studio, I've wanted the idea of doing like studio master classes, but never had a good space or time. But I'm starting to launch that, doing online studio master classes every week. Students are playing something they're working on. We might just have a YouTube party or chat, and just, everyone's feeling isolated. It's more important than ever. So it's like I'm not charging anyone extra. Hey, on Fridays, we're all going to hang out. And then also I've been wanting to get more into online education. I use my blog and various videos that often amplifies a lot of the guest artist and workshop stuff I do in person, but now's the time to figure out how to take some of that stuff digitally. And one last thing I've been thinking about, there's a lot of schools, I mean, a lot of the secondary schools are just totally shut down, but private schools and universities, everything's going online, and people are scrambling reluctantly to, oh crap, my history of rock and roll class has to go online, and I've never used Canvas before, and it's going to be it's going to be the people are going to be paying tens of thousands of dollars for really bad online classes. But the things that people are really hurting for is the ensembles. Got people like, I've got to run my concert band, and with latency, we can't play together. So we're just going to do theory worksheets and scale tests. And I was like, no, no, I'm actually finding ways to lead experiences where people can play together and embrace latency as the limitation. And we're not going to be able to groove, but how can we make music together in like not quite real time? So I'm actually in the moment kind of developing some stuff like that. I'm going to try it out with my students. And I did a thing with my college improv class playing, a student wrote a graphic score, and we recorded a Zoom version of everyone like watching this video and playing like slightly out of sync. I was like, Anyway, that's one thing I'm thinking of now. Like, how can we make community music happen in real time, even though it's not going to be rhythmically tight? Anyway, just throwing some things out there. Then
sounds like you're really busy, Steve. Do you feel overwhelmed?
No, I mean, no, not at all. I mean, I'm spending a lot of time with my kid. As I said, my energy's been low. I've been lazy. I've been friggin' laying around too much. It's like, I need to get these are the ideas I need to get going for a sense of, yeah. But
okay.
I've actually had more time than you might, think. But
really,
yeah, I need to get the stuff going.
Yeah, well, it sounds like you have a lot of great ideas. It sounds like you need to filter them and think about how you want to hit it and what you want to focus on. It sounds like it's fun. Keep putting out records, man. I like your records.
Thanks, man. Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
that turned out really well. We should all be listening to that. You should share that link so people.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, I'll share the link. Yeah, you can stream it, buy it, whatever. Yeah, I'll need Yeah, making records is still expensive, but it's
well, it sounds like
it's awesome.
Part this group and so I gotta tell you guys, when we switched over, and Nathaniel's gone now, but when in Seattle we switched over to kind of online lessons, I feel like kind of like it was like the first area that had to do it en masse. We spent those 2 weeks just helping everybody that we work with at Fons and everywhere else through the online spheres get moved over, get to where they were stabilized. And then we just did the Zoom integration, which has been amazing. If you guys haven't played with it yet, it's really, it's so good. But I have been, if I was going to share one thing, it's like I'm so busy right now because I packed myself with students, and I really want to do that because I feel like my kids really need me. Like when I'm working with them, like, oh man, we need to like groove together, and you need to know that I love you and that like things are going to be okay, because kids are relatively stressed by how different the world is, whether they're showing it or not. Like I have a super athletic, like he's the polar opposite of me, 8.5-year-old son. And his life is basketball and capoeira. He's a mover, and he's also quiet, acting like he's stoic. And man, he is expressing anxiety in a big way because he's not going to school anymore. He's not seeing his friends. He can't go to capoeira. He can't be in the gym playing basketball. And we're so busy. Like I'm up at 4 every morning. I work straight from 4 to 7, get the kids up, go to my studio, work from like 9 until 2, spend an hour in the studio. Then I'm teaching from like 3 to 8 every night, right? Except on the weekends. So it's a crazy time where I'm struggling to find balance right now, but also express to my family that like, yeah, things are weird, but I'm really grateful to be this busy because that's like, we're helping people and we're still eating, which is really cool. But I'm seeing in the young people that we work with, they're anxious, And so one of the big things that I think we can really do is piggybacking off what Allie was saying is like, man, our students need us right now. And like, I think that that will be a thing to pin into that whole vibe of when we're putting stuff out there, the energy I'm trying to put into like, whether it's lessons I'm putting out or, I'm going to start doing just some online music stuff, just playing, which is just putting out good vibes. Right. Like, and because we didn't even delve that deep into it, because these are the conversation, which was next steps. I feel like Allie really catapulted us, right? Which is like next step should be like, we should adjust our marketing to being really awesome as we can. Right. And just have faith that that's going to sustain us in a way long enough that we get through this. But I don't think this is going to be a fast thing that we get through. We're not going to go back to life as normal soon. You know, it's not going to happen. This is going to be a somewhat long-term thing. And so the idea of, I don't know, I was really inspired by what Allie said, and I was really inspired by what Steve said, which you have all these ideas, and now you're ready to put them together. Lenny, you got a great plan. Alex, it sounds like you've got your thing going, right? You're just firing it up.
I'm feeling very inspired, and I really did like what Allie was saying, and it encouraged me. I've been toying with the idea of doing some more of my songwriting right now, and I think that's like gonna be also self-care for myself, and providing just the most authentic self that I can bring to finding new people to work with, I guess.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
I spoke with somebody in Nashville who's a musician, and I was like, "Are you doing these like online streaming things? And are you doing that?" And she's like, "No, my feed's just full of it. Like everybody's doing that." And I was like, "Your feed's full of it because you're in Nashville and all your friends are musicians." But I was like, "My feed's full of like parents of my kids and stuff and all this stuff. Like they're watching everything I put out, right?" You know, and when Tomo Nakayama, who's like this awesome Seattle singer-songwriter, he does a show for kids. I tell everybody at the school about it. And like 150 people showed up to watch his little streaming for an hour doing kid shows. My kids were so stoked. You know, these Allie-rific ideas, which I think I'm just going to coin that as a term. You know, I feel like they're awesome. And they're kind of, we can't be jaded by like because you don't want to listen to musicians at large, right? Not everybody's gonna make the shift. There's a lot of people in that first phase. 90% of the posts were, "I lost all my gigs. I've lost $7,000 of gigs this month." I'm like, you did not have $7,000 of gigs, but you know, everybody's conflating and inflating, and you know, and some people just switched, made it happen, are performing online. Like Marina, Steve, you should share Marina's stuff.
Oh yeah, the quarantine sessions. She was on it.
Awesome.
She lost some money. She was supposed to. She had a tour in Spain, and you know all this, you know, big travel plans, and it's all canceled. And she was like, "Oh, and I don't have any gigs." But you know, it's like, bam! She started this concert series from a secret location. It might not be secret anymore. It's amazing, and yeah, she got written up in Billboard about it. Yeah, I mean, it's a whole thing. It's one of the best versions of this I've seen. I'll post a link in the chat. Quarantine sessions.
She's so deserving and so awesome and so rad. Like, yeah, I love that.
Here we go.
Yeah, that's a good thing to check out. Well, friends, we are kind of pressed for time. We have a few minutes left, but this has been such an uplifting and awesome talk. Does anybody have any kind of maybe questions or maybe something they want to share, or something maybe for an idea as like a jumping off for the next time? Lenny, what's your question?
You know, I'm good for something at the end. I just wanted to add to all the great things that you guys were sharing. One of the things that's worked best for me with Facebook and content and trying to, you know, give people something positive is going outside and playing something. It may not work with every instrument or every situation, but I've been just really trying to purposely find amazing acoustics outside. You know, I found a 500-year-old banyan tree. I sat on the edge of, you know, a bay, you know, and just hung out with the pelicans and played. And the other thing I would say is just trying to make it approachable. You know, like I could sit there and you know, practice for 4 hours and go on there and nail a Jimi Hendrix solo, but who's going to be invited to play music from that? You know, and I think instead of, some people are showing off, and other people I think are inviting people through making music approachable. So, you know, I think at some point we're all going to get burnt out of seeing people's background of their room. So like my thing would be just go outside, sit on a bench somewhere. We all want to like feel like we're outside right now anyway. So even if you can go sit on your step in your backyard or anything, just sit outside. You'll be surprised how well it sounds and how well your smartphone can capture it with its microphone, you know, just natural acoustics or whatever.
Well, Lenny, the other thing too is that like I'm right in the middle of Seattle, and it is silent here. There's no airplane.
Exactly.
It is silent. And so I can talk to my neighbors next door from my back porch, like, hey guys, what's up? Where that I didn't used to be able to do that. We used to be wakened by buses and airplanes. I mean, so people, I sit on my front porch, I play guitar, people can hear it when they're walking by. And it's cool. And it's funny, you observe that some people will see someone playing guitar and they instantly look the other way. They might get uncomfortable, right? Or they might feel like awkward, or because it's like that weird thing, like, what do I do? Do I dance with this person, or do I like ignore it and hope it, and I think that your idea of making it an invitation is that's stuck with me. Like, yeah, let's do this, hello.
Yeah, I mean, we're also isolated, so anything we can do to make people feel more connected, whether it's your neighbor or, digitally, I mean, that's what people need right now,
Right.
and however we can, build more connection.
Well, I really want to thank you for. I'm thankful to be with you guys today, because I don't know, like today is just the first day that I actually felt a sense of fear, where I'm like, because until the point where I thought, it's a virus, it's just a virus, it's just health related. I thought selfishly, well, I'll be okay. However, now, like, it kind of like really hit me hard today, where I'm like, the whole world, the whole economy, it's gone. So it gave me this fear. I'm like, shit, what the fuck am I? Sorry, pardon my French. What am I gonna do? Financially, all that. But you know what? It is what it is. It's just fear. It's an emotion. It's not reality. Just seeing Branner is just, I mean, dude, how can you be like, you're just absolutely crushing it right now. You're so, you're like a sergeant. You're just, it's so inspiring to see how hard you're working and how disciplined and how like you're just making shit happen. And then Lenny, his content is absolutely, amazing and so authentic. And then Steve, I haven't been seeing your stuff on social media for whatever reason, but it looks like you're killing it. And then Allie, what you had to say about being musicians and about just being authentic, that hit really hard. So you are an awesome bunch, really awesome. And Alexandra, I don't really know you, but I'm sure you're amazing.
She's new to the crew, but she seems to fit right in.
So thank you guys for like getting me to get back to where I need to be.
Well, so one thing, Mike, that's really helped our family as a whole, and we've empowered everybody into it a little bit, is to be like, yeah, we're really grateful that we have students or clients or whatever, and lots of people. We're actively seeking, like, every day, whether it's like maybe we get some takeout from like the Mexican place down the road that can't serve food, or I've got some projects that I need to do on my studio that I haven't done, that get somebody that's out of work to come do it. If you can, it's been really helpful to ground our family, to actively look for people in our community we can support that are having a tougher time than we are, because we're not having, at this point, there is something beautiful to how insulated we are, right? As far as we have multiple streams, many clients, it could be way worse, right? You could be working for, a corporation, that you'd be working for Boeing and be laid off and have like 2 weeks of severance and have nothing left. And then, probably living a lifestyle that you couldn't afford. So there's so many things to be grateful for. And I'm grateful for all of you guys. This was awesome. What a superstar connection. I'm going to post this. I'll follow up with everybody, but thank you guys so much for coming. Allie, thanks for being here. Alex, thanks for showing up. What a great crew. We lost Steve along the way, but I think he had to run. Steve, Lenny, Mike, have a great day, guys.
Thanks, Eric.
Much love.
Thank you.